Padilla, Simpson, Covington, they are going to officiate. We are ready to go. You've got the 1-seed Kansas against the upstart Clemson Tigers, who were picked to finish 13th preseason in their conference, and here they are now in the Sweet 16, coming off a most impressive win against Auburn last week in the second round. So let's get this started with Kansas having the first handle of the game raft.
Jim Nance, Grant Hill right now. Clemson goes a little. Wait a minute.
Guys, Clemson's defense, so good. What they did last week, as you talked about, Jim, against Auburn, they shut them down. But this Kansas team, for round one, Azubuike inside, a tough matchup.
Got a little hook game too, Jim.
Yep, Azubuike able to get that shot to go. And of course, he was a big question mark last week. And he saw a lot of action, 22 minutes against Seton Hall in their second round win. And yesterday when we visited with Coach Bill Self, he said he's 100% with that gimpy knee. He said he's fine.
Ready to go. And right now, nice little screen. And they go great without the basketball. Skara able to curl. Excellent team to step and go and find open holes.
And this Clemson team coming off wins against New Mexico State and Auburn. What a shellacking that was by 31. And Kansas with wins over Penn and Seton Hall. Vick puts it off the glass and it rolls off the rim. But Azubuike had it and lost it out of bounds.
I talked about them being good without the basketball. That ability to slip, what a great read. Scar, this team is terrific, as you noted to me earlier, without the basketball.
Well, they know also that Kansas likes to switch on the perimeter. In that case, it caught them there, and Clemson was able to win, to score.
Hesitation move, and Reed takes the jumper off the mark. Tap by Azubuike over to Vick.
This is where Kansas is so dangerous in the open court. 4 guys that can bring it up and hit long-distance jump shots. You must guard off the dribble if you're Clemson.
They're also very tough off the bounce, you're right. Automatic switching on the perimeter, but they match up nicely, though.
Here's Grant deciding to take off and puts it up with the left hand short. Snaps it back outside. Luke gives it to Newman. Last minute give up. Newman, who's had a great tournament, now driving in, lays it up for 2.
How about that? When you can shoot it, you own your man. Little dribble, drive, blow by.
Newman's been shooting 73% going back to the start of the Big 12 tournament. Jump shot off the mark by Mitchell, and it'll go to Kansas.
When you're talking about Newman and how well he has played in the postseason, he is shooting the ball so well, and the defense has to come up and guard him, and his ability to get on the floor and finish with his opposite hand. Newman playing big.
Yeah, he averaged 24 points in the Big 12 tournament, was named the most outstanding player of the Big 12 tournament. Look at this. Luke takes it from Graham, senior to senior.
Azubuike sets up a roadblock. The big wide body enables that little go to the 10.
Long range 3 off the back of the rim. Clemson keeps it. There's DeVoe putting up the shot. He's been hitting 3s in the tournament. 8 in all the first 2 games. We got a foul on Luke.
How about that little screen? Sent it up, Grant.
Unbelievable. Nice back screen. You have to guard Luke because he's such a shooter, but he curls that back screen. And Graham, who is the catalyst out there, finds him for the easy 2.
They go side to side beautifully. A little shape up in a low post.
Here's Thomas.
Played great during the tournament. Double doubles.
Had it taken away. Lost control of it. Vick was there. Step back jumper.
Look at him go, though.
Oh, and he followed it up, but Skara clears it for Clemson.
Numbers.
Well, they actually got Kansas players back, and DeVoe sees it slip right through his hands.
And Raph, right now, it looks as though Clemson's a little out of sorts on the offensive end, not having a rhythm right now. And, you know, Clemson just got to slow down, calm down. They don't want to get into a track meet with Kansas. They want to run opportunistically.
You saw Coach Brad Brownell in his 8th year for Clemson. And this team of his has tied the school record with 25 wins on the year.
Great with the bounce, Graham. Boy, he is fun to watch.
Azubuike.
Well, up strong, big guy.
Turns around, he's under the cylinder. And what a play by Thomas. Coming out with it is Mitchell. Clemson on the run. Mitchell needs help.
Nice look.
Back inside. What a throw by DeVoe.
How about that,
Thomas? Yes.
And I think Thomas can beat Azubuike down the floor. He's a rim runner. Make the big fella run like he did that last time.
Both clubs very good going side to side. And Clemson early has been really quick with the jack.
Vick. And that's off the back of the rim. Again, another offensive rebound. Azubuike.
And that gets you those open threes. Good recovery.
Dix in the corner. He's going to launch it. And he hits it.
And look who he had out there, Thomas. He knew he could either get the shot off or put it on the deck.
9-4 Kansas.
And we watched them run their stuff yesterday. A lot of it ends up in a ball screen. Scar again without the ball.
Thomas flat-footed shot.
So many weapons on the offensive end for both clubs on it. Look at this blow by and lean. Spotty search.
Newman kicks it in gear. And he has 2 buckets early.
He is something. Playing great at the end of the year. Talented kid, McDonald's All-American, transfers from Mississippi State. He'll double down.
It's DeVoe. He's going to take the turnaround and able to connect.
And Coach, he is a playmaker, a shot maker. DeVoe really stepping up his play on the offensive end for Clemson here in the postseason.
Senior from Shelby, North Carolina.
And Jim, with 64%, I think, of the NCAA, the way he's shooting the ball. It's amazing.
He's been sensational. 22 points in both NCAA tournament games by DeVoe.
Oh, great D.
Newman able to get away from him, and it circles out.
Well, he is playing with such confidence. There's that ball screen slip and replace. Nice D, Svi.
And a push-off is going to be called with Mikhailuk coming out of our first break in Omaha. And before we return to the floor, let's go over to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. The big question for Kansas coming into this tournament was how much would they get out of Azubuike because of that sprained MCL? Well, he played just 3 minutes the first game, 22 minutes the second game, and I had a chance to speak with head coach Bill Self earlier today. He told me he did not practice Sunday or Monday, but he was full go the rest of the week. He said the only thing that will limit him today is foul trouble or fatigue. We'll keep a lookout, Jim.
And he actually already in this game, Tracy, he took a little shot to the chest. Thomas backing in on him. And you can see he had a little bit of reaction to that. So he sits coming out of the break at the 14.5-minute mark.
That's our reaction at our production meetings.
Lightfoot has come in for him, sets a screen. Garrett on the floor as well.
He has played well, Jim, this year. Azubuike having the strained knee.
Graham. And the ball bounces out to DeVoe.
Ken's really did a nice job handling that ball screen. Nice give.
Scara. Donnell, who's just come in, the graduate senior by way of Michigan.
And that was a pretty exchange there on the offensive end, executing a nice little screen and roll and a little buddy ball inside. Scara finding his partner inside. That's what you have to do. Get the Kansas defense to shift in the move. You're not going to necessarily be able to break them down one-on-one. But running your offense, getting good opportunities.
Amir Sims now checks in for Coach Brownell.
They go over the top on these ball screens pretty well. They worked hard yesterday on it. Well, you can't give him that kind of room.
Well, he gave him all kinds of room, but he drives in, comes up short. And that is Sims, who just comes into the lineup, picks up the rebound. And a no-look pass he wasn't ready for. Well, actually, the pass was not on the mark. Stream live 24/7 highlight scores, news, free across all the connected devices with CBS Sports HQ. Check it out now, cbssportshq.com.
Garrett getting to the rim that time. Not a deep threat as much, but explosive at the rim. Over the top, show. Look at the protection in the back.
That's Graham. Three-point shot, long. And that's going to be a call against Kansas.
I think Garrett with the reach in.
And Raph, thus far in the tournament, Graham has not shot well. The last game they played wasn't effective from the field, but great facilitator, finds everybody, finds those open shooters, so can still dominate when he's not shooting the ball well, but hasn't hit thus far early.
And back after the indigestion. But yes, you know, Graham is obviously talented. I think he had one of his great years, of course, player of the year in the conference. Runs the show and can score as well.
And that pass dangerously close to being picked by Newman.
Donnell can shoot the three now. That pick and pop, it can be effective.
Mitchell has it knocked out of his hands, but there was contact.
I think Graham on the bottom side there.
It is That's his first.
For those who haven't seen a lot of Mitchell, he at the left-handed point guard can get to the basket. He's so crafty, not super fast and explosive, but knows how to play, knows how to get to the free throw line.
And Mitchell will get one more. How about that performance, though, by Clemson last week against the Auburn Tigers? They led at times by as many as 41 points in that game.
It was amazing.
Incredible.
And a lot of Clemson faithful will tell you that might have been as good a performance as they've ever seen by a Clemson team, all things coming together.
I think Auburn averaged over 80 points a game, too. 84 from the
And the way they shut them down in the first half, Auburn went 0 for 18 from the field. Clemson, their defense was unbelievable that game.
And as dominant as it gets. In fact, it was the largest margin of victory the first week of the tournament.
Tough angle, they got it.
Zabuki, though, 2 players on him, and it's going the other way.
They must have stepped out.
He stepped out indeed.
Mikhailuk has a mismatch. He can elevate and get a jump shot, but he's had trouble around the rim. He's not explosive. Of course, you know a lot about explosivity.
Well, not anymore.
First turnover against the Jayhawks. And Clemson looking to take the lead here, down 11-10.
Now they widen out, cover the corners.
That's 2.
He is tricky, though.
Zabuki and all Kansas underneath.
And Mitchell great at dancing and drilling.
Kansas scoreless for 3.5 minutes.
Nice give.
Newman wide open with a 3. Hey, he's not missing that. Not these days.
Wow.
That was set up by Graham right there, finding the open shooter. Of course, Newman knocking it down like he's done all postseason.
And that's his 75th 3 of the year. And
offense,
Donnell.
Well, he never got set, and he dribbled quickly, too. You got to wait a little bit if you're Mitchell.
And there is Irvin Johnson, the legend who won a national championship in '79 for Michigan State.
He knows the camera. He's got one of the great smiles. Look at that. On cue. Amazing. Years ago, I did an interview with him when CBS had the NBA in the hallway. He was hollering at the players about what they did wrong. The light went on, that smile. He gets a nice lob to the big fella.
Zabuki with 2. And they have several times beaten Clemson going up over the top.
Tough if you don't get weak side help if you're going to front. And this is where I think Donnell can do some damage. Drag the big guy away. They back cut, can get some easy things at the rim. Automatic switching on the perimeter.
Mitchell.
Step back, that's his favorite.
Donnell with the 3.
That's
and
big.
He's come off the bench and
big.
contributed 5.
Coach, you called that right there, Donnell. We've seen him do that a number of times.
At Michigan.
At Michigan.
5 games in the NCAA. Seasoned vet.
Yeah, he was part of that team last year that went to the Sweet 16 and won the Big Ten tournament. Of course, they've gone back-to-back with that. Now they're on to the Elite 8 and will be playing for the right to go to San Antonio tomorrow. And there's Zabuki working hard on Donnell.
He is not joking around, the big fella. Woo! What footwork. And the finish.
We talked about guards all game. We got the big guys here stepping up.
Always pointing. Great communication skills, automatic. 4 guys, automatic switch.
Well, already hit this shot, but not this time.
Wasn't really set.
Graham takes it on the run. He's cut off his angle by Mitchell, but still lobs it inside the paint. Zabuki tries a tough pass, and it's a second turnover by Kansas.
And Coach, on that last play, Zabuki had a nice move, great footwork, patience. Might have got away with a little elbow right there, hook on Donnell there, but he got a little hook, and lucky he didn't get a foul. Didn't need to do that, but nevertheless, a great play and great finish inside.
You made hooking for a living. I mean, you're criticizing.
So now he goes to the bench, does Zabuki.
He is a load, Jim. When he throws that arm, a little bit like Shaq when he throws that elbow into the chest.
Oh, you're bringing back bad memories. And as you talked about Kansas switching on the perimeter, they have to be communicating and connected to do so.
What a shot. That's DeVoe.
Jim, you are right. That was contested. He's a little more mobile now. He's at the rim. Pretty good athlete around the rim. Good check out.
2 bounces and off the floor with it. It is Graham. And a tie up. The arrow goes to Clemson. So Gabe DeVoe, who's become the #2 scorer for this team since they lost Dante Grantham out with an ACL. That was a big loss for them, but look at him step back and Again, his hot, torrid play late in the season continues.
A little extended arm there.
It's amazing how he is able to get off the dribble, get to his spots, the confidence, the ability to hit that mid-range shot, create a little distance there. I'm not mad at that.
Smart.
A.J. Oliver onto the floor for Clemson.
He's a guy that can make threes in the corner, can stretch the D. Nice little curl, open look.
DeVoe was off with that, and the foul is staying at this end. It's on Kansas. Head basketball coach for the Clemson women's team.
And I played against his father, who played basketball at the University of Virginia with John Crotty and Brian Stiff, Corey Alexander.
Oh, pretty good team. That was one of your 15 finalists for the scholarship.
DeVoe got another jumper.
He is playing great, isn't he? Within himself, catch and shoot and bounce, the pull-up game, shown it all.
He's hit 3 of his first 5 shots.
This is their weave with a run out.
Newman working it, driving, giving it up to Vic.
Nice rebound, that's his game.
And DeSouza with the putback.
Really understands his role. Runs the floor. Got a guard when you play for Bill Self.
Silvio DeSouza coming in, contributing, the freshman from Angola, right away.
Nice double and nobody covers.
And Donnell now with another basket. Off the bench with 7.
And what a fantastic read and find by Sims, finding his partner down low.
Graham, a little bit of sleep, didn't rotate back. So many guys can beat you with that dribble drive, get in a gap. You don't have to help there.
Mikhailuk trying to get separation, steps back, he's got the 3. Oh, and he's just tied. He's just tied Terry Brown's single season Kansas record for most 3s in a year with his 111th. So
he's so good, we know how to pronounce his name after 4 years.
Yeah. Took a while, huh? He is really good. Can he do it again? He's hit 1 3.
Too much time to think.
All kinds of time.
When you're smart, that happens.
Look at this pass. That is Graham with the perfect pass to DeSouza.
Donnell misses the shot. Nobody helps him and covers till he returns. Faulty D. That's why the timeout.
Yeah, timeout Clemson. Graham with 3 assists, the Big 12 Player of the Year, first team All-America, the senior who's loved every minute of his 4 years in Lawrence, and what a season he's had to lead this team to yet another conference championship, both regular season and conference tournament. 14 straight years winning the regular season as DeVoe hits the tough shot from 3.
Boy, that is tough. Not even able to break him down. Thomas back on the floor. He's got to be careful. I would go to Azubuike and give him some touches. Thomas such a valuable contributor.
Kansas started the game 5 for 15 from the field, now 6 for 8. So they're starting to find their rhythm on the offensive end.
Right around Skara and Mikhailuk with 2.
And 2 years ago, he didn't do that, Coach. He was primarily a shooter. His ability now to go off the dribble is what separates him and makes him a great player.
DeVoe doubled up. Man is open. It's Thomas. Going to try to give it right back. Nope. Challenge Azubuike.
Loves to bounce in here, and they got the little nickel dimer in the lane by the big fella. That's number 1, I believe, right?
It's his first.
Yeah.
And maybe the wildest tournament ever. Already 3 teams seeded 9 or lower in the Elite 8. Loyola, Chicago, Kansas State, and Florida State, a 9 out west. But we got the first ever 11-9 matchup coming tomorrow in the South Regional Final in Atlanta.
It is incredible. Azubuike on the floor with Thomas. Thomas got a little jump hook, bounces. Azubuike's so important. I would go inside to the big guy. Little cross screen for him.
That 3-pointer off the mark for Reed.
He had him on the box.
Reed has been held scoreless so far. Newman at the other end has Thomas bouncing it off the floor and recovering.
Good rebounder. Nice give. A little late though and behind. Good idea. Mitchell. Number 6 in the turnover category. They got to value the ball against KU.
Boy, Graham and Vic, only 1 shot falling from the floor, and that was a 3 by Vic early in the game.
That speaks to the offensive firepower of Kansas. They don't rely just on one guy, multiple guys. It's Azubuike down low.
Just a little ISO, high-low. How about the little dribble drive? Drew the attention. Nice give and a bang, but a big fella.
And one of the reasons why he led the country this year in field goal percentage, 77%. Reed is challenged, and then he is denied by Azubuike. And now a tie-up, and that means it's Kansas basketball.
That's why he's so important. He is a little winded out there. Looks like he got getting a little bit of a blow, but the big fella looming large. Boy, creating havoc under the rim. A nice wall-up job. Of course, the ensuing jump ball needs a little bit of a blow. Plus, you know, with that strain, he's not in great shape, I don't think, just witnessing yesterday's workout.
He's like me hanging with you, needing to blow every once in a while.
At least you make the meetings in the morning.
Always good to have you coming straight in for him. Graham slices the defenders and gets his first basket to drop.
Well, you can't let him get in the lane because you know he's going to get going on that open jumper.
So Kansas has never trailed, now has his largest lead of 9.
Nice
Thomas,
give.
open lane and misses the short one. Scarra back out with it.
Nice look. The guy does a lot of good. Look at the cut. Love the way that kid plays. This is what they should do. Little hook.
Short with it. Too little.
Great defense inside by DeSosa.
Newman snaps it. Mikhailuk and reach around. Scarra.
Now you mentioned he drives to the rim. Mikhailuk, where did he learn that?
I think he learned that from Coach Fratello.
How about that?
The Ukrainian national team, but right here, Graham off the bounce, getting to the rim. So good. He sees the floor, takes what the defense gives him, and the Big 12 Player of the Year with a nice finish.
Yeah, just didn't handle that ball screen very well.
Newman. And Clemson walled that one up.
That was a pass right there.
Yeah, what happened with the left hook? A lost art. Great denial. They're having really trouble covering the roll to the rim. I would go to that if I were Clemson. A disdain of the pick.
And that shot by Mitchell fails to fall. They've missed their last 6.
Might have walked right there.
Yeah, got away with one. There's that replace.
DeSosa on Thomas.
Great defense, and they get over the top.
So Azubuike's been coming in and out, and so he takes DeSosa's place on the floor. DeSosa, that was his first whistle on DeSosa.
Bill Self does a great job of subbing him in and out, keeping him fresh because of this pace. It's something else.
Yeah, they're really settling for jumpers and trying to fake a foul. Got to get better shots against KU. Look at this run out again.
Azubuike, they'll get 2 on him quickly, and that leaves somebody open.
Look at this.
And it comes out for Azubuike.
Ooh, he was going to bring the house down. What timing by the big guy.
Well, that was made because he ran the floor, and he's engaged. He's fresh. Young legs. Almost had a 3-point play opportunity.
Azubuike, this can be an adventure at the line. It's an interesting free throw motion. He's 42% on the season.
I think you watched Jim Furyk swing a golf club. What do you think?
That's a good one.
Close.
Maybe Charles.
Don't sit next to him at dinner, Jim.
Yeah.
Get a poke in the eye.
Yeah, needs some elbow room.
And you know they're working on that because he's got everything else. We could ever get that under control.
This is an important time for Clemson. Last 4 minutes of the game, you want to go in halftime feeling good about yourself. Kansas has pretty much been in control the last 10 minutes.
Now, this is what I like, Donnell, moving him around, keep him out of the rim. Maybe somebody can drive or he can pop.
Tough pass, and that's another turnover.
He didn't want to give it to Donnell.
7th on the Tigers. Let's go to Trace.
Jim, that's certainly not what Brad Brownell wanted on this possession. He talked about during that huddle that we need to move the ball on offense. Too much one-on-one, get off the ball and play as a team. And he said our makes won't hurt us if we rebound, box out, and get that boom.
You know, it really hasn't felt in sync at all on the offensive end for Clemson from the get-go.
Everything's a struggle down there. Kansas has had their way, Jim, down on this side.
That's what they should have reposted. Big Doak. He's got it inside. Now look at this. Say goodnight. Leave the chandeliers, big fella. Whew, what ball movement to set it up.
This is a 13-3 stretch for the Jayhawks. And Clemson's been blank for over 4 minutes now. DeVoe
loses it on his own.
away. Yeah, it's off him.
The big guy knows how to turn his guy. Has great position here.
He did his work early, Coach.
He did, exactly. And Donnell really, that didn't have to be discarded, but a great look, pretty good entry. They are terrific in pros passing.
11-point lead for Kansas. With 2:30 to go in the first half. Again, never trailed. Mikhailuk
Again.
got around Reed. Oh, Vic! He just threw it down.
You are a victim. Boy, talk about Springs anticipation.
Mitchell,
Big fighter.
Thomas tries to get it back, but it's on the floor. DeVoe and a foul on Kansas.
I think it might be Newman in the rear. How about this one?
Well, first of all, great crossover by Mikhailuk. But the young fella, the young one, Vic, coming out of nowhere.
Because the dribble drive gets everybody's attention, and you got to stay at home. But Azubuike, but goodness, leave it here a little bit. What a hammer.
Now to try to end a 10-point run for the Jayhawks. DeVoe to shoot 2. West Virginia and Villanova tied in the first half at 22.
And Jim, Clemson only 9 field goals this half and 8 turnovers. So that would be a big adjustment for them at halftime to value the basketball and try to get some offensive production.
They got to get better on this end. They have not done a good job containing the bounce or communicating. There's a step and go with the lift of Azubuike. Buki. I'm thinking of dinner later.
Mismatch inside.
From the far side, the pass over to Vic.
Look at this rebound.
Azubuike helps Graham reload it.
Boy, he got over the top again. That's the problem. They got to get him out.
It's going to be his second.
Yep. Boy, that is so dangerous. Offensive rebound kick out, particularly with a guy like Graham. I like the energy here, though, don't you?
I love it. And look at this box out here by DeVoe. There's a guard in there battling with Azubuike inside. But you're right. Get him out, get him rested. Too important for Kansas with 2 fouls right now.
Yeah, DeVoe saying, I didn't sign up for this.
It's going to be a 1-1 at this end. DeVoe, the 3-time ACC academic, all-league academic member.
Honorable mention, all ACC this year, too. Had a fantastic season, Jim.
Sure did. Fine young man who was the class president at Shelby High School in North Carolina, same town that produced David Thompson.
How about that?
And David Thompson has ties to the family, and he was there on senior night to support Gabe, who hits 2.
How about the ACC? 3 teams here.
Right.
Bayheimer's complaining it should be played in Greensboro.
Well, if you're Kansas, to get to San Antonio, you're going to have to go through 2 ACC teams.
Yep, exactly.
Clemson tonight, and the winner of the nightcap between Duke and Syracuse.
Did you say nightcap?
I saw I got your attention. I know that. Always does. Vic shovels it to the corner. 3-point shot off. Long rebound comes out to Reed, who struggled in this first half. Reed's 0 for 5 from the field. Layup, though, it goes, and he scores.
They got Thomas now after the play, and just inadvertent whistle.
Inadvertent.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when you are struggling, the best thing is to get out in transition, get to the basket, don't settle, which Reed was doing earlier, getting to the rim. And yes, there's a little foul after the shot by Thomas. They might review that.
No, they didn't even call one on it, by the way. That was that inadvertent whistle.
Well, I thought Thomas definitely got away with something there after the ball went through the hoop. As DeSosu and Thomas are fighting inside.
Reed can really drive it, though. Nice little finish. Graham anticipating some help. Just a little touch. A little bang, bang.
A little love tap.
Dabo Sweeney likes what he sees as far as a potential tight end, the way Thomas was blocking. Okay, the officials have actually gone to the monitor to look at that contact that Thomas applied.
It's Grant's fault. He's the one that said they should look at the monitor.
Yeah.
Well, they're both wrestling inside right there. It just looked like maybe after the shot went through, Thomas pushed the head of DeSosu.
That's like a waltz. Come on. I know it's tough under there, but I don't think it was anything malicious.
DeSosa in there wrestling inside, and could have called a foul either way.
Yeah, I thought that's what they were going to do. Reed really explosive, too.
Well, they needed Reed to get something going before halftime, and here he is averaging 16 a game, their leading scorer, and that was his first bucket of the night.
The more you watch their guards, they can do so many things off the bounce. And
this broke a 6-minute, 12-second field goal drought for the Tigers.
It's a make-believe ballroom. I know they can. No foul was called. I think it's just really a play on. Now they look at every possible angle, in fairness to the officials, too. We were told that at the seminar.
Here it is one more time, watching the paint.
And for Thomas, he really shouldn't, be involved like that. He got one cheap one earlier.
Well, he's too important to Clemson.
Yeah.
Too important.
Gotta let it go. This is like my 3 daughters making a decision on a blouse at Bloomingdale's.
With your credit card.
Amen. We can all relate to that.
Indeed.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clemson down 8 right now going into half and really not been in any kind of rhythm as we have a minute left here at halftime. And so if they can escape this half under 10 and make the necessary adjustments, they're in decent shape. But I'm not quite sure what the officials are huddling about. Maybe they're making their dinner arrangements like
it takes you this long
before.
to order your appetizer.
I'm a deliberate thinker.
I know they want to be right, but
I think there are several opinions about this one.
well, they got an odd number if they take a vote.
Rock, paper, scissors.
They got to look. They're going to check with the standby official.
Going to come over and explain to us.
We can hear them now with the microphone set up.
All right, we're going to go F1 on 14, Clemson. We're going to be, they'll shoot 2 shots and then they'll put the ball and play it back there.
Okay, flagrant 1, we heard it. 2 shots on number 14, and that certainly limits, and that was the concern. If Brad said if I can get 25 minutes out of him, he's such a solid guy, and plus with Zabuki having a good night around the rim, and they're going to need him.
It's going to be the second on Thomas.
Yeah.
And right now, Bill Self, after that play, was arguing for a flagrant foul. He saw what we saw and implored the officials to go and review it, which they had done. So great eyes inside.
What you saw, you're the one who picked it up, really. Get you a whistle, I think.
I got Lasix.
Well, DeSosic's going to head to the line.
Man, that really hamstrings Clemson in terms of rotation up front.
You ever heard of anything like how he became eligible right in the middle of the season? Graduated in the fall out of the IMG Academy down in Bradenton and was able to join the Kansas roster in December.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before. It's an amazing story.
What an addition to have as your season's already underway, and he's getting stronger as the year goes on, including coming off a great average during the Big 12 tournament. DeSosa averaged 10 and 10.
Of course, Sims coming in now for Clemson, more of a threat outside.
Important for Clemson to get a stop and a score and feel good going in at half.
They were pretty good with their gap D, but they haven't exhibited it frequently. There's a little show and a string out. They're going to change the looks on the ball screen. Scar now is that number 3, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is. If it's on Scar, that's his 3rd.
He's a valuable contributor.
And it is.
And that's what happens when you drive the basketball. You put the defense pressure on them and get the opportunity to draw fouls. Mikhailuk, one of the best at turning the corner.
So Oliver comes in for Skara. And that was the 6th team foul on Clemson with 42 seconds to go in the half.
Clemson will have some threats, 3-point. They can dribble, drive, and kick at the other end. Dude, you're right. They need some stops.
Graham over to Vic. Oh, and he banks home a 3.
You just sniff to help out on the roll guy, and you pay. DeVoe really upset.
That was a 6-point swing these last 2 possessions in favor of Kansas.
He's a little upset at Oliver on that play.
Reed with 8 to go. Took it early enough for Kansas to be able to do something at the other end as Vic takes off past midcourt. 2 seconds to go. Vic lost it on the way up, and we've reached halftime in Omaha. And the Jayhawks have matched their largest lead of the game. They go to the locker room up 13. They had an 11-4 run to open the game. They closed the half on a 20-8 tear.
If they guard, then get some easy baskets, or at least some good looks.
So Clemson to inbound at midcourt, down 13. And Kansas, when leading by 10+ in tournament history all time, 38-0.
Wow. You said it best, Raph. You can't have these empty possessions. They have to be good offensive possessions like this one here.
Pretty.
And you could just tell the way they moved the ball from side to side. Everybody touched it. Reed made a decisive move to the basket and able to convert.
So Reed gets that first basket to go right before the half, and then comes out, hits the floater to open the second stanza.
And this is the key here. Can you stop them? Can you handle the ball screen? They've worked hard on it, but haven't done a good job.
Vic, who had a good first half, knocks down a 3 from the corner.
How about this kid's improvement? Oh, goodness. What an added dimension he has been.
Reed slipped, and he traveled, trying to make a cut around Vic.
And again, Vic really with good footwork at that end of the floor, but a little dribble drive over help, which is the cardinal sin on defense. A little nylon from 3.
Yeah, the young man Vic out of Memphis, and they've got a couple of Memphis transfers. It'll be a big part of the program next year.
Yeah. Of course, that sort of led to Tubby's nice little back cut. They run some great stuff.
Clemson comes out with it.
They have numbers here. They have to convert.
Mitchell on the 3-on-1, tapped up, no, and it's Vic with the rebound.
That's the finish you need. Nice run.
The lob, Azubuike right back out with it. Newman got the 3.
Woo. And they just come at you in waves, Coach. You have to get back on defense with Kansas. Great pass by the big fella.
And it's up to 17 as Clemson out of sorts again. Thomas in the paint. Hook shot way off. And a ball bounces into the hands of Vic again.
What a great job by Doak, bodying him out, forcing him to that tough angle. Nice drop step here.
Newman right back to Graham. He'll launch it, and he'll get it.
Wow, timeout, I think. Got to get one. This is one of those deals. It's blown up before your eyes.
Yeah.
Boy, did Kansas come out ready to go, Jim.
Yeah, terrible start to the half for the Tigers. And they take the timeout. A 9-2 beginning to this half.
Sorry, Jim. I think Clemson is allowing the pace. They're getting sped up by Kansas. They have to slow down, be deliberate, and make good plays like DeVoe did there on that last pass, but they can't get seduced into playing fast. That's what Kansas wants to do, and that's how they thrive.
A little zone look here, Jim.
Okay, Elijah Thomas with his first basket, Raph, since 3.5 minutes into the game.
Not a bad move here. They sort of ISO even if it's a zone.
Vic.
They got the big guy loading up. Almost a man-to-man kind of a look, matchup, and a nice dive.
And Mikhailuk had his foot on the end line. And it's a Jayhawk turnover.
I have been impressed, Azubuike, his ability to find cutters, open shooters. He is a willing passer out of the post.
Yeah, doesn't take bad shots at all. Got to get Thomas on the box somehow. There's a double screen. Usually ends up with a ball screen.
Way outside, DeVoe.
How about that? Wow. He wants to get going. Tell you what, he was 4 for 6 in that first half. He has been a lightning rod for this club. It's a matchup. Great communication has to be in order. And they don't right there.
That's what Kansas is so good at, attacking the gaps in that matchup zone, Coach.
Back down low, Azubuike. He'll
killed
give it back
himself.
up. Yep, 8 to shoot. Graham, front of the rim. Clemson.
Had 2 good trips in a row defensively.
Yep, first 5 points out of that timeout they called, and looking for more. As DeVoe doubled up down low, he's got a man. Second pass goes to Thomas, and it's a call against Kansas.
I thought they were in good position. Much better on the offensive end right now.
Much better indeed. Great passing inside, executing, making sure you get a good shot at the basket every time. And Thomas able to draw a foul there on Graham.
His second foul on Graham. So Elijah Thomas, who began his college journey at Texas A&M. And he came in with that bunch we saw last week in Charlotte.
Some pretty big,
wow,
talented guys.
Came in with the likes of Hogue and Davis,
Williams,
Robert Williams, but you know they last night
it's amazing.
Had a rough go of things. They ran into a Michigan buzzsaw, and here's the three-point shot, and that's Azubuike with the rebound.
Got to tie some stops together. Automatic switching on the perimeter. Get the big guy to the box.
Newman, nifty footwork, frees the shot. That's a 3.
Wow. That Newman can deliver. Goodness, good footwork, step back, bang.
Reed, ball deflected. Mikhailo trying to save it. It'll stay with Clemson.
And right now, Bill Self would say that on that last play, this is just good coaching. But Newman with this.
Well, recruiting is good coaching.
That is true.
Getting him to come to Kansas, favorable outcome.
But it's amazing how he has changed the way they play. Normally, getting the ball inside, adjusting to the players he has, and letting them play and shoot a lot of three-pointers. Kansas looking good.
That's Reed with Vic pulling it down.
That's why they can play small. Vic plays much larger than his size.
Graham. What a shot, going the opposite way.
He was moving away from the basket and had the ability to convert, Coach.
He's a tough kid, he really is.
So the Jayhawks up it back to 20.
A lot of dribbling again.
DeVoe.
Nice.
Spins around on Graham and hits the shot, the senior.
Boy, great footwork, huh? Poised to knock it down.
He is by far leading the cause for the Tigers, has 17 of the 36.
Well, he has really exhibited a lot of confidence with this team.
Clemson back in that matchup zone, which has given Kansas a little bit of trouble when they've run it.
Do a lot of their man-to-man stuff. Nice step in.
DeVoe taking on Graham. Leans in, basket counts.
Let's see which way. The difference in calls.
Well, DeVoe and looking over at Graham, and there was a little jawing there for a second. The foul is on Graham, his third. DeVoe will get a free throw attempt out of the break. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app.
And not a good pass here. Sets up this open floor, and I think we both agree. I thought he held his ground, Graham, and it was initiated by DeVoe against a foe.
This was earlier, too, after he'd hit a 3. He implores his teammates to wake up.
He is tough. Watching games, we've seen him. I mean, that's great leadership.
Again, 22 in the first round win against New Mexico State, 22 against Auburn. He became the first Tiger with consecutive 20-point performances in the tournament since Eldon Campbell.
Wow. Later on with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And what we were talking earlier, 8 threes in those 2 games, too. He's trying to put this team on his shoulder, creeping back in.
With that free throw, he's got his third straight 20-point NCAA tournament performance.
I like the switch here, Clemson going to the little three-quarter court zone, but this half-court zone is giving Kansas some problems here. They're not attacking it.
And now without Graham on the floor, it's going to be by committee.
Now Graham on the bench with the 3 fouls.
Weave and a ball screen. Nice corral. It's a good word here in Omaha.
Yes, it is.
And he's a good player right here in Omaha.
As Azubuike shows a little touch with a left-hand hook. Thomas slashes in, and he draws contact. And that is Azubuike at this end.
He keeps playing like this. Everybody's going to pronounce his name properly as well. Nice little soft touch. the left hand, he'd have the crooked elbow.
And he's got 3, and he's coming out. DeSosa in for him.
That's big. 2 of their stalwarts out.
So Clemson to inbound. DeVoe has the Tigers' last 8 points. He comes off the screen, gets it in the corner. But another one.
Oh, right on, too. Nice hustle.
But DeVoe, as you said, needs some help. His guys, Reed and Mitchell, combined only 6 points. They have to be more effective here in the second half.
And nothing in the middle either.
Nothing at all.
Here's DeVoe. Got stuck, lost the ball.
Don't try and do too much. You're playing terrific.
Garrett on the floor for Kansas. As big. Slides to the baseline, long with the jumper. Tapped out to Thomas.
Tough shot.
Ooh, Mitchell with a really high dribble, and they call him.
Tell you
the palm.
what,
Right
I thought the hand was above, though.
I did too.
Right? I'm an authority on high balls, so
Yeah.
this is.
I don't know about that, Coach. Lamont Simpson, he got it right.
I'll have it neat, no ice.
Can you wait about 3 hours, maybe? There's Newman, and that's Reed with a hand check.
Boy, it is virtually impossible to contain the bounce with the speed of kids, don't you think? Without touching them.
No question. And Kansas has plenty of guys that have the speed and the ability off the bounce.
All this guy does is win. It's just amazing what he's done.
It's the first foul of the second half on the Tigers.
Nice hands.
Newman able to recover. Gets it over to Garrett.
They are struggling here. Rudderless right now.
Yep, without Graham out there.
Tough shot.
But gets it to go, Mikhailuk.
That's separation.
Impressed. Yeah, his ability off the dribble all the way or that mid-range.
Reed, open, wing, got 3.
Boy, that's really a nice little play. It's tough to cover because you're worried about the roll man, and you still have to cover. Reed, so important to this team, too.
Still a 16-point margin. Inside 13 to go.
Kansas, a different team with Graham on the bench.
A lot of people want to be like this without Frank Mason, right?
It's true.
Here's Garrett.
Pretty.
In the lane, and a whistle on the Tigers. And it's again on Reed, his second.
And I tell you, I'm just so impressed with Kansas and their ability to drive the basketball. What a point of emphasis, Bill Self. All guys, multiple guys, except for the bigs, able to take it, get into the paint, and create opportunities.
Bill is a master of deception. People didn't think Kansas was going to be good. Forget about it, what he's been able to do.
Well, you can't teach speed until now. Bleacher Report. Get alerts for your teams and scores before anyone else. Download the app now. Yeah, early in the season, everybody's saying, well, that streak, that's coming to an end, that Kansas dominance in the conference. And what do? They figure it out, and they go on and win it for a 14th consecutive year.
And what's amazing, 9th straight season as a #1 or #2 in the NCAA tournament, which is amazing.
And Scara throws it away for the Tigers.
They didn't do it in the normal Kansas fashion, though. It was a perimeter type of a game, not the high-low power game. But this is an excellent basketball team that guards and can create offense on their own. They don't need sets.
Kansas shooting 70% from the field in this half.
A little bit of an overload here, high-low.
Vic.
It's just an ISO. It's just perfect. Look at the duck in.
Now Mikhailuk tries to turn the corner. That's shot off by Thomas. 4 to shoot. Circles around, finally gets free. And just in time, count the basket.
How about that? He came down a little gimpy. Just right in the right spot, though, for the penetration and help.
And DeSosa beats the shot clock, and the margin again back to 20.
I think they're in a zone. Nobody was covering the corner.
Break in the action, the under 12. Jayhawks got that 20-point margin most of this half. Yeah, look at Vic. Asabuki having his way inside as this Kansas team leads by 20. Just inside 12 minutes to go. And you can see knocking down 8 out of 12 in the second half. This has been a story going throughout the night, points in the paint.
Well, when you shoot the ball well from the perimeter and get points in the paint, that's a recipe for disaster for the defense. Clemson, no answer, Coach.
DeSouza in the game now, but Asabuco, even when he hugs, he fouls. But such a force, really set the tone, open up the dribble game.
So Graham's on the floor with 3 fouls, and this is going to be a whistle on Thick, his first.
And it's really amazing. You have 4 guards out there on the perimeter at all times for Kansas. It just causes nightmares. You have the inside interior play, and then guys that can switch, do a number of different things defensively and offensively. Just a hard team to defend and prepare for.
To the corner, Skara. That slides off the rim, and it's Newman boxing out DeVoe.
That's what they need. I mean, they give an opening. Graham's got to play smart, particularly on the defensive end. Even give up a goal on occasion. Not quite as effective or in rhythm on this end without him. Well, they got an offensive foul or the push?
An illegal screen on DeSouza.
It's his second. Over to Tracy.
Jim, during that timeout, Brad Brownell just imploring his guards to play better, to help out DeVoe, specifically Shelton and Reed. He went to Mitchell and he said, we need you to play better. We need you to show up and show that spirit. I don't see it today. We'll see if he could step up here, Jim.
They've been on their heels since the very beginning. And that's going to be on Garrett with a little push. You know, those minutes they went without Graham, that's been a real oddity for the Jayhawks, because you go back to the middle of January and Graham had played 749 out of a possible 760 minutes. Think about that. He had only missed 11 minutes of action in the last couple of months.
And he's never tired, by the way.
Yeah.
And he has to play both ends of the floor. It's not like he relaxes on this end.
So Garrett just picked up his third. That's 3 Jayhawks with 3. Garrett, Graham, and Azubuike. And Skara has it rejected by DeSouza.
Big time negation by the he wants the lob too. Now the duck in.
Graham driving. Ball comes out and it's off Graham's hands.
How about this? You go from a very strong heavyweight to a slight speed demon. How about this effort too? That is great. Great timing in position, keeping it in play.
Elijah Thomas back on the floor for the Tigers.
Nothing inside. That's been a problem, I think. Settle.
And Reed, that's a 2.
And once again, everything a struggle. Clemson having to make tough shots right there. Nothing easy for the Tigers.
Reed with 9 on the game, 7 coming after intermission.
They're going to need stops. You just can't match baskets at this point. Nice denial.
Yeah, that was Thomas who got a hand on it with 10 to shoot, and at the other end, they called this a 2. Here's another look at it. Yeah, definitely no question for Reed.
What a tough shot right there. Great defense. Clemson has to figure out how to get going. And I love what Tracy said. Mitchell is so important and so talented, yet to have a field goal in this game. Has been shut down 0 for 5 from the field.
And those 3 are so important, playing well.
Azubuike back out there. Luku inbounded, also returns. They got 6 to shoot. Graham challenges Reed.
Offense.
And it goes the other way. It goes on Reed. That would have been the 4th on Graham.
I don't know if Graham extended his arm right there. Let's.
I thought he did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that was easy from our seat.
Yeah.
You were busy having that extra hot dog over here.
Boy, and Coach Brownell probably realizing that was one of the few chances he had was to get him out of the game.
Absolutely. Look at this little lob. Nice defense, though. That's where they're going to get back in this game.
Reed coming right behind Thomas in his wake and hits the shot.
And a great call, too, Jim. The big guy running rim to rim really enabled that shot.
Clemson is an 18-point lead with every possession, just possession by possession. Don't try to get it all back once at a time.
It's Doak time.
Garrett. And tapped out.
Don't get it. Go the other way.
It's going to be Clemson ball.
Yep.
Clemson's put together a couple of possessions defensively able to get some stops. They just have to come down and execute. Still some time left, Coach.
And Grant, what happens a lot, so many good dribble drivers, they forget about the big guy on occasion because they can take their guy. You know, get a little rhythm, give him a touch. You noted early in the game, he doesn't mind passing the ball either. Keep attacking. These big leads, you get fat.
Mitchell.
Nice pass.
Gave it up on the block. Skara, and it bounces out, but he'll shoot 2.
Whew, what a great look.
You're starting to see Clemson get some rhythm here. A little late, but just making sure that they continue to execute possession after possession. Great find inside. Skara almost had a 3-point play opportunity.
Clemson coming into the night trying to go to an Elite 8 game for only the 2nd time in school history. Back in 1980, they beat Danny Ainge and BYU in the Sweet 16 before losing to youth. Players call him the Freak. That's Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Was that the same year Ainge went wire to wire against Digger Phelps?
That's exactly right.
Oh my God, Digger, I hope you're listening. I enjoy rubbing it in.
But it was a Larry Brown team that beat Clemson in Tucson in the West Regional Final and went all the way to the national championship game before running into Louisville and Daryl Griffith in that bunch. Wow. Dr. Duncanstein.
Yeah, they had a few. You were at a school that had a few dunkers too.
Yes, I did. A little fine slam of Jamma. Azabuki, look at that nice move. But he traveled that.
I thought that was great defense, great resistance inside by Thomas.
He doesn't have a counter either. He had him set up for the drop step. He does once in a while when you look at tape. He's got him there now. Just drop step the other way. And again, you're right. Thomas, big time.
If Clemson could score here, maybe hit a 3, it'll be interesting.
Here's Reed coming off that screen. Hesitation move around Azabuki. Has that rejected. Bounces out to Newman. 2 taggers there.
3 on 2.
Shut him off. Outside he goes on a wing to Graham. And
big,
look out.
Big time block. You should get an assist. What a fast break initiator.
And after 5 straight empty trips, Kansas hits his first shot in 3.5 minutes and goes right back up by 18.
Automatic switch in all 4 spots.
Mitchell out of control. Skara inside and bounces out.
That's twice he's had that opportunity to finish.
I think on that last play is called on Graham for the foul. As you can see, he has his 4th on that play, but Azabuki with that fantastic block. I didn't think he could get to it. And of course, that leads Coach.
Exactly. And look at how they get organized on a fast break. Everybody protects the rim. Get those puppies organized. Graham with the foul problem, still able to deliver.
And back on the floor, Garrett, as Graham goes out with the 4. Skara will shoot 1 after missing the first. He's a transfer from Valpo and played in an NCAA tournament game during his time there, and also was a member of the 2016 NIT champions from Valpo.
Build on another penetration again.
Bick. Tough shot into the hands of Skara on the floor. Gets it out.
Look at the balance here, though.
Mitchell pull up 3.
Wow, how about that for confidence?
I like that. I like him being aggressive, settling for jumpers, getting to the rim, just giving some life out there on the offensive end for Clemson from Mitchell.
Again, must take advantage with Graham on the bench with the 4.
This is a Band-Aid right now, just trying to run some clock, get a good look.
I think you want to get inside. Get big fella.
Newman, top of the key and beyond.
Well, give it to him.
All right, I know what you want, Coach.
And Newman, the top man for the Jayhawks, with 16, including 4 out of 6 from 3.
Nice dive. This kid has a great feel.
And he'll shoot 1.
He really knows how to play the game. Bails his big man out. Skara carving.
That'll be the 4th on Azabuki. Great friends, as Mike said yesterday. He's my best friend in coaching, and they'll be meeting next. Skara unable to finish off the 3-point play, but Thomas gets it back. Here's DeVoe. How about that? Better than a 3-point play, a 5-point trip.
That is big. And the pressure, got to go over the top at some point.
Azabuki and Graham out right now. Golden opportunity here. Got to get stops for Clemson.
They got Newman on the floor, though.
Newman again leading them in this game with 16.
They love that weave and ball screen.
Seven to shoot.
Oh, they got offense.
On Newman.
Yep. DeVoe playing both ends of the floor with great footwork, anticipating this move.
What great competition right there. Great anticipation, and DeVoe leaving it all out there. A little chirping afterwards, too. I like the competition, but the trash talk.
This trip could make things interesting.
Very interesting.
We've been with Grant for a couple of weeks now. I've heard a lot of chirping.
Reed feeds the corner.
Short.
DeVoe is short.
Yep, you
and
can see it.
Sosa is there.
Contested. I still think you got to ride Newman with this group.
Trying to get it to him. Switch off on the Clemson defense.
He's got Scar, right? You know, he can go on bigs to here.
That's big.
Tough shot.
He was fouled by DeVoe and will shoot 3.
Why foul him? Oh, you were right there, too.
And you appreciate the effort, getting out there and closing out to the shooter, DeVoe, making that effort, but you got to run by him. You can't have contact. Got him a little bit with the chest.
Wow, I think he just breathed on him, though. Trying to slide by. Tough call. You got to protect the shooter. I understand that.
So 3 for Vic, who averaged 12 a game this season, just a junior.
Your coaches work so hard, Jim, on closing out under control.
Who's going to make the most shots? Who has more points in the second half? If your bracket's already busted, and I trust it is, play the Capital One NCAA Tournament Run Game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app.
As long as they can keep control, Graham can rest.
Reed wiggles around to Sosa. That basket's going to count.
Boy, there's some lingerie on the deck. Oh, how about this head and shoulder? Just impressive.
Azubuike's going to come back on the floor with 4 fouls.
I love how you attacked him.
Ooh, same hand change. Jerry West, for you folks out there, one of the great ones, keeping that ball the same end and getting to that rim.
Wow. Let him turn all the way around.
Azubuike on the floor, but Graham still sits with just inside 6 minutes to play.
Everybody's a handler outside here.
I think you have to give the big fella some touches inside. No rhythm right now offensively for Kansas.
Garrett goes inside and got a piece of the arm. Clemson did.
That's his game, attack.
Thomas called for that one, his 3rd.
Love that move. He was seeking the contact right there, initiating that, going right into the chest of Thomas, getting to the free throw line.
There's a lot of little things this kid just turns and attacks that rim.
So Garrett, a freshman out of Dallas. He's out of Skyline High School in Dallas, and he was coached by Paul Graham, who was an assistant with Bill Self when they were apprenticing under Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State.
How about that?
So there's a long tie there. And
isn't that Grandmama's high school too?
Yes, Larry Johnson. Yes. UNLV.
This time for Mitchell.
Going the other way. Thomas. Now you mentioned Bill Self and Eddie Sutton watching an Oklahoma State game, getting ready for this one with Kansas. They had footage of Bill Self. Pretty good player.
Yeah.
Made some nice passes. And of course, what a great history.
And there's Graham with 4, coming back out to control things with 5.5 to play. And Clemson subbing in Sims. Thomas goes out with 4.
And I'll tell you what, Kansas is so hard to trap because they have 4 guys out there who can handle the ball, all good decision makers.
Tough to contain. And they really never got the rhythm at the other end. Let's see if they can get it going here. They got to stop maybe? No.
I thought that went off Newman right there.
All the Clemson players.
Ref lost the whistle. That's what happened.
The ref didn't see it.
Tony Padilla, watch the whistle come out of his hand. Boy, would I like this to happen to a lot of refs when I was coaching.
And they're going to have the right call.
Yeah, they
it's
did.
going to go to the Tigers.
He was fortunate, really. Yeah, that can be terrible. You can see a little, not a bad catch.
You seem like you got a lot of texts back in the day, Bill.
A few. A few. Oh, he did get hurt.
He did.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing. Ball hits the whistle. right there.
Oh.
That can be jarring.
It can be.
So it's 13 with 5:20 to go. Clemson got it to 11 on its first trip down the floor to start the second half, but after that, Kansas upped it to 20, and most of the time it's been in this range, 13 to 20.
A little double high to a high low.
Reed,
tough shot.
Azubuike,
Great rebound.
box out. Yep, Azubuike now on the night with 11 rebounds, 12 points. Got his double-double plus a couple of blocks.
What a difference he makes on that floor. Back screen lob, here it is.
Broken up. Skara got a hand on it, but Azubuike picks up the loose change.
And his activity out here has just been fantastic all night. Azubuike with the finish.
To Sims, good pass by DeVoe.
Sure it was the open middle, set it up. But the other end, they do so many nice things. But Kylick with that back screen set up the initial lob.
Smart.
They don't make many mistakes, do they? I guess when you're a Hall of Famer, you get a few things right.
Self going into the Hall of Fame just this past September.
Gotten a lot of things right.
Azubuike unable to quite finish it because Sims was there to defend it. DeVoe racing to the basket is blocked, but there is a whistle.
What a great contest, though. Kylick running the floor. They don't give up on plays. They don't make it easy. You can relate to this, huh?
Look at this here, just extra 50-50 balls coming their way. Azubuike with the emphatic finish. And you can't tell me he doesn't want. Look at that concentration, determination, and power down low. I've been impressed with him.
Oh, he's had a good ball game, no question about it.
And Clemson had missed its last 4 free throws before that one. And again, they're missing one key part to their team, Dante Grantham, who went out with a torn ACL in a game during the season against Notre Dame. 1,000-point scorer in his career at Clemson.
And what a versatile player, dynamic talent. Very unfortunate, Jim, his senior year to go out, but this team regrouped and figured it out and had a fantastic season, still holding on.
Clemson's got it down to 11 with 4 minutes to play.
And Jim, did you notice that? Bill didn't have to say anything. Pull the plug, bring it out. Graham has such a great feel for the game. Back cut dribble exchange. Look at this set. Big on little here, watch it.
Newman, the footwork, so masterful, but it's blocked. Blocked by Sims. Right back to Kansas, and a reset. Oh, nope, Newman's gonna take it. That's because it never touched the rim, so smartly looking up, I hadn't seen that. So Kansas gets the shot away, fails to drop it. Now we can get it to single digits here if Clemson's able to do something with it.
Short.
Underneath Skara, lays it in, and it's 9 with 3:18 to go. Azubuike slow to get up and limping.
Yeah. How about this club? Skara in the right spot to finish it. You can't relax if you're Kansas. I think you got to run your offense.
I think you got to maintain that aggressiveness. Yeah. You know, sometimes you lose that edge when you're trying to hold it and nurse a lead.
But you got to run your stuff. If something good shows early, fine. If not, you can get under 10.
13-4 run by the Tigers. Now with 10 to shoot.
Again, this is a tough trip. A little late with nothing.
Head fake in. Wildly puts it up, and it almost goes down.
Nice.
He can embarrass you.
In and out. Wow.
Foul on Sims. He'll shoot 2 out of the timeout. 9-point game. So Graham, 2 minutes, 43 seconds away from going to the Elite 8 for the 3rd time in 4 years.
But that career.
Of course, he's never gotten past that one, and that's going to be something that he's going to try to not only take this team, but his great pal. You always think of Frank Mason and Devontae Graham, one and the same. Of course, Mason's career ending last year, great Jayhawk that he was. It is a tradition unlike any other. The stage all set for the Masters, the spectacular Masters shaping up for this year on CBS. So Graham with one more. He's got the margin back to 10.
Just think he could have been at Appalachian State.
Hey, first signed with App State.
And went to Brewster. They finally released him.
Now right now, if I'm Clemson, I'd take him off the dribble. Graham has 4 fouls.
Tough shot.
DeVoe, that would have got it to 8. Long rebound underneath, and it drops. for Mitchell, and is that the 5th?
No. He was so smart, Jim. On the drive, he moved away. Now watch what he does here, and now he doesn't get involved at all. That's how smart that kid is. It's not worth getting the foul on a basket like that.
But I was talking Azubuike.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
So that is his 5th.
I'm just so impressed with Graham. And that is a major issue coming down the stretch.
Well, I think at this point in the game, Graham is more important to Kansas than Azubuike is. If you have to pick between the two to manage this team, it's going to be Devontae Graham.
This is the closest Clemson's been in the second half, from 20 down to 8.
Just a mistake away here, and look at this.
And there is the mistake. Stolen away by Mitchell. In the paint, and he dunks it down, and it's a 6-point game with 2.5 to play.
Woo. How about that? Not getting free on the inbounds pass. Leave the chandeliers, big fella. That southpaw's sending it down big time.
Now with 10 on the game, DeVoe has 25, his 4th 25-point game of the season. And the foul issues, Azubuike out, Graham on the floor with 4. Thomas Clemson, he's on the bench, and here comes the inbound for the Jayhawks.
And they had him set from the timeout. It's amazing how kids don't do it on their own, though, right? They had a timeout to get organized to beat the trap.
Graham.
Wouldn't be adverse to trapping this. Pretty good recovery there.
Newman. He's out high with 5 to shoot. Dancing on Reed, driving in, and he's
jump ball.
And the jump ball arrow stays at this end.
And great team defense there. Reed forcing Newman into the paint, and Thomas with the contest without fouling.
They give a signal over to Coach Brownell to back off. There's just 1 on the shot clock. Just 1 to shoot.
Catch and shoot.
And off the mark.
What a rebound
by Graham.
This kid is unbelievable.
Thomas was standing right there.
Oh, he wants it more.
And Graham was the one who made the play on the ball.
Big time ticker. I don't know if I would ball screen. I'd go to the weave and see if somebody could turn the corner. Gives the defense a chance to trap.
So now with 6, Graham. And that's going to be on Reed outside.
And Coach, winning basketball, it's about making the right plays at the right time. Graham just going up and getting that rebound, willing his team here, doing the little things to help him win.
4th foul on Reed. So Graham at the line. It'll be a 1-and-1.
83%. Does it all, this kid.
Not this time.
No.
Scarra snags it. Clemson trying to cut into a 6-point deficit.
Something going to the rim.
Mitchell off with that one. Long rebound on the floor. Picked up to Sosa. And they're headed to the other end to shoot free throws.
I think it's Reed. What a shot there. Critical time, right?
I agree with you. Right there, he's settled, getting to the basket. We keep talking about Graham, and normally reliable at the free throw line, and he is in disbelief.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
He's shocked.
And by the way, Reed has just fouled out for Clemson, their top scorer on the season, who we ran across when he was playing at Robert Morris.
How about that?
In the NCAA tournament back 3 years ago when they won a game up in Dayton, then came in as a 16 seed and took on Duke. A Duke team that went on to win a national championship. He scored more than 20 against Duke, and put 22 against Duke in that game. Then transferred.
How about that? Resurrecting in a way, another opportunity. But that, just shot selection is so key all game, but particularly coming down the stretch. Can't just settle.
By the way, this is just a 1-and-1 for a 69% free throw shooter. De Sosa.
Shaking his head, a little disgusted.
Knows how big that last trip down the floor could have been. De Sosa, 1 of 2.
Something attacking.
Screen and roll, maybe off the bounce, but getting into the paint.
And Scar's very good at getting free if you get in there.
Ooh, DeVoe.
Wow, 2 of them in a row with no action.
To Graham, and they're on him And now they'll be shooting 2 the rest of the way.
I'm not much at picking up dinner, but if he,
I'll
bet he makes
never state
2.
the obvious until now.
Oh man, alligator hands. Or arms, excuse me.
That's both.
Oh, what a nice little effort here. They got plenty of time too. They got to push and make better decisions. Clemson at the other end.
Again, 2 the rest of the game. He was shocked with the last one failing to go, but this one makes it an 8-point margin.
And you talk about Clemson here, regardless of a make or miss by Graham. I wouldn't mind just a 1-4 low against Graham's man, attacking the 2 possessions, just taking tough shots. That's great basketball.
Yep. Well, they have settled deep.
1 minute to play in Omaha.
Go for the 2. See if we can do some damage. There you go.
Yep.
Free throw line. Stop the clock. A lot of good things happen.
DeSouza whistled for that, his 3rd.
They still have that 1-2-1-1. Put a big guy on the ball. Let's see if Thomas does that. Shadows. Don't let you get vision on the inbounds.
Clemson likes to face guard in this situation, which could led to a turnover on that last possession.
And maybe catch them sleeping like they did that trip.
Got them both. 7-point game. And check in here. Garrett comes onto the floor for DeSouza for Kansas.
Now you have 5 ball handlers on the floor for the Jayhawks, able to deal with this pressure from the Tigers.
And Garrett struggles from the free throw line. That's the only danger, you know.
Luke to inbound. He can run the baseline. Gets it to Vic. Up ahead, Newman looking for help. Tough throw.
They got to go over the timeline.
Graham is there at midcourt.
Always available. That's not a bad play. Have your point guard over the timeline. You can run the show. Here he posts up.
Great trap.
Oh, Clemson had a chance to take that one away. Graham now. 32 seconds to go. Ball loose to Luke for the killer 3. And it's pulled down by DeVoe with one arm, and off he goes. Desperation time for the Tigers. Scoops it up, no. Follow up, yes, with 19 seconds.
Get the timeout too, Jim.
It was 62-42. And the Tigers have chipped away, haven't given up, but now only 19 seconds remain.
Yeah, this is what they did earlier. Face guard, the inbound big on the ball. See if. And Kansas did a nice job inbounding off a set from the last time out.
And coach, do you foul right away?
I think you have.
Clemson.
I think you have maybe one
hard
trap and then one little lob. See if you can run under it.
Garrett is at the far end of the floor. Luke to inbound. 3 Jayhawks. Options here. Pass to Newman. It's a tough one. He's doubled up.
Oh, boy, he got bailed out there.
I don't think you had to reach in on that.
No.
You had him in the corner there.
The Death Valley. You're right.
Valley.
It's called on DeVoe.
He didn't think he fouled him, too. He knew what he was doing. Let's see right here.
He thought he had a tie-up.
Tell you what, he may be right.
Now, he may be.
And the arrow, by the way, would have belonged to Clemson.
Ooh.
DeVoe has a career-high 27 in this game.
That kid's a winner.
He is a winner.
No question.
A great attitude.
Well, you're a high school class president. You're a 3-time All-ACC All-Academic team. And
Are you talking about Grant or DeVoe?
Not talking about me.
well,
No, you're right, though. High praise for that kid.
Newman with one more. Jayhawks 11 out of 19. Now make it 12 out of 20 from the line. But still 2-possession game.
Go to the rim.
DeVoe cradles it, and he's fouled outside. And it'll be 2 at the line for DeVoe with 14 seconds.
I love them attacking, stopping the clock, able to make their free throws as Newman is called for that foul, reaching in. But now you can set up your press, which has given Kansas some trouble here down the stretch. And that young man has just kept his team in the game when they were struggling. Jim, you talked about being down 20. He has willed them back into it here with 14 seconds left.
And I love when he got after his teammates, just like Jim with us. Wake up.
Down to 4 with 14 seconds.
Oh, got a piece of it.
He did, and finally Skara has to commit the foul for 12.6.
And after missing that free throw a few possessions ago, I'm sure Graham will step up there remembering that, making sure he concentrates, understanding how important this is. Knock down these free throws.
2 shots for Graham. Senior raised in ACC country in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Tell you what, he's found a home in the Midwest, though.
Oh, yeah.
He has put this team on his shoulder all year long.
Now make it 6. Timeout called by Bill Self. Each team has 1 remaining. Unless you can somehow pull off what Virginia did at Louisville this year. It is a tough road to navigate with just 4 ticks left on the clock. Clemson, a team that was really doubted even coming into the season. And no one had any faith that this was going to be a special season. It has been for them.
Preseason, they didn't think much of it, did they?
No, 13th out of 15 in the league. They were predicted to finish. Now, here's the inbounds pass. Mikhailuk.
Go to half court.
Up ahead to Newman.
Post.
That will end it. The Jayhawks move on to the regional final. A little more stressful than Bill Self was expecting with about 10 minutes to go in the game when they were working on a pretty steady 20-point bulge.
I agree. I tell you what, the play of the game might have been Kansas up 74-68, short clock. Devontae Graham gets that offensive rebound.
Big from out of bounds.
All that momentum was going in Clemson's way at that time, and that was a fantastic play by the senior.